Hello and welcome. My name is Rosie Cooke and I'm the Community Safety Projects Officer here at the Fenland Community Safety Partnership. For today's event, we're going to be discussing loan sharks and illegal money lending. While it's estimated over 310,000 people are currently in debt to illegal money lenders in the UK, the true scale and impact of illegal money lending can be hard to quantify. Today, I'm joined by Catherine Williams, Liaison Manager for the Illegal Money Lending Team in England.
Morning.
Morning, Catherine. Thank you for joining us. We've got quite a few questions today, and one of the most common questions we've been asked is, what's a loan shark and why is that different from lending a friend money?
Very good question. So the legal definition of a loan shark is someone who lends money without authorization. So if you want to set up as a lender in business, you have to go to the Financial Conduct Authority and they will authorize you if you are fit and proper. So they'll look at things like, are you a bankrupt? Have you got any convictions for fraud? That kind of thing. Once you've got that authorization, you are a legal lender and you can lend money, albeit within a code of practice. So you've got to give the right paperwork, the right conditions and everything else. Loan sharks are not authorised. Quite often they don't give paperwork and they operate below that radar. And the way it's different from lending a friend money is it's got to be as a business. So there's got to be more than one person involved. If you just lend money to your brother and he gives you the money back, that's not a loan shark. But if you lend money to Mrs. Smith at number 12, Mrs. Jones at number 14, Mrs. Miggins at number 72, and Mrs. everyone out of surnames Williams at number 94, and you charge them interest, then you are a loan shark because you are running a business that is making money. So it's quite a subtle difference, but it's all about whether you're making money, and it has to be to more than one person.
Oh, thank you. And what would you say are some of the key signs to look out for, or how could our viewers spot a loan shark in their community?
It's really tricky sometimes because they don't walk around with a placard on saying I'm a loan shark, unfortunately. And quite often people at the point at which they take the loan believe they're borrowing from a friend or a friend of a friend or a work colleague or someone they've known for years. And quite often at the point at which the loan is taken out, the loan shark is charismatic, he's helping you out. There's no mention of interest, no mention of how much you're going to pay back. Oh no, your washing machine's broken, how terrible. I tell you what, I'll lend you £300, you pay me back when you can. And people think, oh, that's very nice of you, thank you very much. And it's only much further down the line they realise that there's been interest charged, there's been all sorts of other things added on, and they're in a whole heap of trouble. The big sort of telltale signs for me would be someone who lends money without paperwork, because any legal lender will give you paperwork. We all know if you go to a sofa company or you buy a car on credit, you get lengthy paperwork which tells you exactly how much you're going to pay back, what the interest charges are, total cost of credit, what happens if you miss a payment, and so on. Loan sharks don't bother with that. They don't give you paperwork. It's all word of mouth. And I think that would be the biggest telltale sign for me, but also a loan that just keeps growing. So that £300 I mentioned for the washing machine, you pay it back and you say, I've paid you back now. And then they say, oh no, there's interest, I don't do this for nothing. And that's the point at which I think people think, oh no, what have I got into here? We know loan sharks charge double bubble quite often. So you borrow 300, you pay back 600, but you won't get to pay them off. So they will add charges indiscriminately. They'll just keep totting it up. They won't tell you how much they owe, and they can extort you and bleed you dry forever. So a loan that just keeps growing, no matter what you do, and any sign of threats or violence or intimidation. And sometimes those threats are quite subtle. I think people think of a loan shark and they think of a baseball bat. Whereas actually, most loan sharks we've dealt with don't threaten violence. It's much subtler than that. It's all about, your friend Tracy wants to borrow some money. And if you don't pay this week, I can't give her a loan. I'll have to tell her why. It's all about my kid goes to school with your kid, but my kid's not going to get a PlayStation game this weekend if you don't pay me. And I'll tell her why, and then she'll go and take it out on your kid in the playground. We're on social media together. I'm going to put all over social media that you don't pay your debts, that you're disgracing yourself, that you are a bad person and people should stay away from you. Sometimes it's much more about kind of getting in someone's head and much more like coercive control, as we see with domestic violence, than it is about I'll break your legs.
Yeah. So quite often loan sharks are quite integrated within the community, and the links they have can really put pressure on that person, can't they?
Absolutely. And it can be any sort of community, because we've had them based in an area, so on an estate, and they lend money on that estate. We've had them based at a workplace, but we've also had them where the thing that people have had in common has been nationality. So we've had loan sharks where maybe they're all from Poland, All the victims are from Poland. The loan shark's from Poland. The loan shark's based in Staffordshire, but they've got victims in Cambridgeshire, in Peterborough, in London, in Dorset, all over the place, because the thing they've got in common is where they come from, which town it is in Poland that they all come from. So community, I think, as well, can mean a lot more than just a geographical area. It can be all sorts of different things.
So where else could people turn for money when they're experiencing financial difficulties?
It's really difficult. I think there's many things people can do. So first of all, if you are on benefits, check you're on the right benefits, check you're getting everything you're entitled to. I think if you are borrowing because you are in debt, the advice is always don't borrow money to get out of debt. The number of people we see who've gone to a loan shark because they're in rent arrears. And actually, if they spoke to the social landlord or even private landlord and came to an arrangement, they'd be quite up for sorting that out between the two of them. Because what they want is people to engage and to show that they are willing to try and get the arrears down. But people panic. They get to the point of court, they get to the point of a red letter through the door, and they panic and they go to the loan shark and borrow money. And I guarantee, you may pay off your arrears for today, but then the loan shark will become your primary debt because of the nature of the control they have over you. And those arrears will just skyrocket in future. So I think if you're in debt, try and work with your debtors, go to something like Citizens Advice or Step Change and look at debt management plans, look at engaging with people you owe money to. But the big thing is, if you want to borrow money, we promote credit unions. So very heavily, it's about going to the credit union, starting a savings pot, and then you can borrow small amounts of money, affordable loans. They are fully regulated. The amount they can charge is capped by legislation, and they'll deal with you like an individual. They'll talk to you like a person, and they'll help you through any problems that you've got.
Yeah, so the advice is don't put your head in the sand, don't ignore, see what other options that you've got. It's just such a stigma about money and being in debt that people don't often want to admit that's an issue for them. So if somebody unfortunately has borrowed money from a loan shark, or they think they're starting to think, this loan's never ending, or they encourage me to borrow more when I might be near the end, where can they go for advice?
So the best thing to do is to call us. So we have got a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline. We've also got a website, which we do live chat on Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We will talk to people in confidence. We'll talk to people anonymously, but we can just talk through your options, basically. Yeah. So it's not about, we're going to hammer you to make a statement and drag you to court. It's all about us giving you advice and saying, this is what we think you should do next. This is what we've seen from the 30,000 people we've supported so far. And these are your options, basically. We also have a support team as well as the investigators. And the support team can be there for people to give them emotional support, practical help, signpost them to things like Citizens Advice if they've got other debts. But I think it's about just making that initial phone call or live chat, even if it is anonymously, and just engaging with us and seeing that we're nice and friendly, we're human beings, we're not some scary government department, and we're here to help. So we've got a hotline that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is 0300 555 2222. And people can also access us through the website stoploansharks.co.uk, which has got lots of information and survivor stories, but also live chat facility Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, where people can type and chat in real time to a trained investigator.
So you've mentioned sort of some areas of support that you offer. So somebody rings your number. What sort of response are they likely to get?
Well, the person on the other end of the phone will want details of the lender. That's what we do. We prosecute loan sharks. So if they're willing to give that, they will be asked for things like their name, phone number, car registration, address, any social media that they're on, anything that helps us to identify the individual concerned. Sometimes that's very straightforward. Sometimes it's a bit trickier. We're seeing an increase of loan sharks who meet people on social media, in which case you might not have their address or their phone number or their registration number or anything else. If they're not willing to tell us about the loan shark, that's okay too. They can just tell us their story, tell us how they ended up in this position, what they want to do next, what their concerns are, and we'll just talk them through the process from there, really. And it's all about us giving you the information for you to make an informed choice about what you do next. It's not about us forcing you to give us information or hammering you or making sure you go to court. It's all about support and advice and practical tips. We've also got these support officers who are based all around the country, and they will meet you. They'll go to a housing office or a Morrison's cafe or wherever else to meet you, and we can do that again, and talk you face to face if that's what you prefer as well. But it's up to you. It's up to the person who rings us, how far they go, how much information they give, and what they're comfortable with. And we don't push those boundaries.
Brilliant. So no one should worry about ringing the helpline at all. you'll support them to whatever level they're comfortable with at the time.
Absolutely. And
Brilliant.
we get people as well who'll phone us today and give us very little information, but then in a couple of weeks they'll phone back with a bit more. And we're happy to do that. We will build relationships with people over time. We'll show them that we're trustworthy. We'll show them we're not going to go and hammer on the loan shark's door and say, Joe Bloggs has just told us you're a loan shark, what are you doing, or anything like that, because that's not how we operate. We can't operate like that. It's all about what that individual is comfortable with at that moment in time.
And what should someone do if they are scared of a loan shark, they've been intimidated, they've had threats, and they're worried that they might be in danger?
If you're in danger, the advice is always 999 and the police. You know, we are an England-wide team, but we've only got 50 staff. So by the time we get to you, it might take us a while. So if you are in danger or immediate threat, then phone the police.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, I believe that just about wraps up our event today, Catherine. Thank you very much for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Fenland, watch out for a loan shark awareness campaign that's going to happen this summer. You'll see lots more about loan sharks, and there'll be lots of activities and bits and bobs going on to look forward to. And thank you to everyone watching at home. If you'd like to see more of what we do here at the Fenland Community Safety Partnership, you can follow us at Twitter at Fenland CSP, and you can also subscribe to us on YouTube to see future events. Until then, take care and we'll see you again soon.